Okay, so this video is to help students that want to do the properties of logs activity from home, but need a little bit of help getting started. So I'm recording this actually at 2:03, right after my classes leave. So this is fresh in my mind, and I know what they kind of had some difficulties with. So I'm going to try to give you the same kind of support that students got in class, just in the form of a video, so that if you want to do this, you can. So the first part of this is to fill out a table, and just by evaluating logs on your calculator. Now we're going to use log base 10 for simplicity, but we could really use anything that we want. So that's just log with no subscript written. We assume it is base 10, and you're going to do that on your calculator. So for example, for log 1, I'm going to type in log 1, close that parenthesis out, and I get a 0. So on my table here, I will fill out the 0. And then you're going to just start by doing that over and over again, rounding to 3 decimal places. So log 2 is 0.301. 0.301. Log 3 is 0.477. If you guys can see that, the lighting is not awesome. I should have probably turned another light on in here. Okay, and so forth. So you're going to go through and just fill out that table. Just double check your rounding, okay, and make sure that you have that all filled out. Then you'll move on to just taking a moment and observing some of the patterns you see. So the first question is, what pattern do you notice going across each row? Do not overthink that. Okay, really just looking for something very, very simple there in the trend of the numbers. And then for patterns going down each column. So going down the columns, what do you notice? And put those into words as best you can. So you'll have that all filled out. Now, when you get to the different parts here, okay, and this is where I did an example in class. So you're going to have log 2 plus log 3. Now, right off the bat, you might think, oh, well, that's going to be log 5. But the point of this activity is to discover what that is. So in your calculator, you will do log 2 plus log 3. So log 2, close out that parenthesis. If it automatically opens a parenthesis, make sure you close it out, plus log 3, and we get 0.788. Sorry, 0.778. That is, yeah, I read it and then I said it the wrong way. So 778. And then when it says exact, okay, when you see exact, what they want you to do on this is to go back into your table and find that particular decimal, 0.778. So I do have a table that is completely filled out that I was working on earlier. So we go and find 0.778, and we notice that it's not log of 5, it's actually log of 6. So in that column there, for exact, we're going to write it is log 6. So you might have thought log 2 plus log 3 is log 5, but it's not actually log 5. It's log 6. Now, as you go and fill it out, make sure that you do write log there. I just went over one where the student was just writing the numerical value, but remember that what you see in the table, like that decimal, is not the number 6. It is the log of 6. And so that's what the exact value is. As you do that, as you go through, okay, when you get to this part where it says summarize the rule you just discovered, kind of look at this part. Log 2 plus log 3 is log 6. Log 5, 8, what is it? 8, 10, what is it? 3, 20, what is it? And as you go through that, there's 6 of them there. You should be able to see a pattern and then express that in the best way that you can. Now, when you get down here, okay, now it says use the rule you just discovered. So you are not going to give me a decimal value. I want the exact value. So log 3 plus log 12 is log of what? log 1 plus log 12 is log what? And log x plus log y is log what? So once you see what the pattern is, you should be able to apply the pattern to numbers that are not on that original table, and including variables, like, so what works for the numbers is going to work for the x and the y as well. Now, as you go through this, so you go on to the next page, the next one is the same, except you'll have subtraction. So you would do log 20 minus log 2. So log 20 minus log 2, and you get the number 1. And then you would go back to your table, okay, and so we like to pull the table, and you go and find the 1. Where is my 1? Oh, there it is. That is log 10. So make sure you write the log. So log 20 minus log 2, you might at first think, oh, that's going to be log 18, but it's not log 18, it's log 10. And so as you go through that, again, you're looking for that pattern between the numbers, what's happening with the numbers, summarize what you see, and then again, for this part, give me the exact. Okay, so log 72 minus log 12 would be log of what? Log of what? Log of what? Now the last part is a little bit different, and I've rewritten this part a couple of times. So here you're going to do log of 2 to the third. Now what we had happen in class was we had some calculator issues. So on this type of calculator, when you do this, it should be log and then 2, and then I'll use the exponent button to the third power and then close out the parentheses. So it should look like that, log 2 to the third power, and I get 0.903. And then over here, when you enter it in, you would enter in 3 and then log 2 and then close that out. Okay, and then hit enter. If you have a single line entry calculator, okay, which I do not have one that I can put my hands on right away, but those would be like some of the old FSA calculators. You might need to do your keystrokes in this order. So you might need to do 2 to the third power equals, and then hit the log. Okay, and then for the second one, you might need to do 2 and then a log and then do times 3. So that might be problematic. If you're having a real issue with it, honestly, go and use Desmos. I think the Desmos calculator, you can just type in the LOG and you can make it look exactly like it does in the table there, and you can avoid that. If there's an issue on your handheld calculator, when you come back to class, you can ask me about that and we can navigate how you would enter that. Summarize the rule. Honestly, this one is going to be the most difficult rule to summarize, just to find a way to explain what you see happening, and you're going to compare this table to this table. Now the last piece, when you come over here, okay, when it says like evaluate these or fill these out, what I want you to do there is I want you to rewrite it like the second table. So those with the 6 to the third power and x to the 9th power look like this table. This table right here. I want you to rewrite it so it looks like this table right here. And then the last question is, now that you kind of have worked through all of this, write these using the properties. So there should be like a log in each of them somewhere, okay, with some other stuff around it. And the last question, do you think this will work with bases other than 10? If you listened carefully to this video, I actually answered that. Now the last part of it was awesome, okay? It was about not copying work you don't understand, but you will notice that this did not photocopy at all. If you're accessing the online version, there's a chance that you might be able to see this on the online version. It just, when it was printed and then photocopied, no one in class could see it. So I did not require part 5. However, if you can see it and you want to do it, you might have a question for me, okay? For why did they do something? And I would be happy to address that so that you could better understand what you were looking at, but you do not need to do part 5 because it did not photocopy. Okay, so I hope that video helps. That was about a 10-minute video, basically providing what I provided in class to students that were raising their hands during the activity. And if I can do that for you ahead of time, it might avoid you getting stuck in the same spots, and you can complete the activity from home.